Did you know that 90% of people quit the gym after just 3 months of trying? Look, I get it. You want to get in shape, but you just find it super difficult to stay consistent and stick to a workout routine. Well, today I'm going to show you a 6-step guide that I use that has helped me consistently work out 6 days a week, every week for 5 years. I'm also going to share with you my #1 actionable tip that you can do to instantly achieve consistency. The first step, which is the easiest step, is evaluate your priorities. I want you to ask yourself right now, how much does taking care of your body and overall fitness mean to you? If you said, oh, it's a low priority for me, I have other things to worry about, I need to study, I need to work, I need to worry about other things, I don't have time to think about fitness, then that's totally fine. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. That's entirely your decision, and I respect that. But you should probably click off this video, because if you don't rate your health as a high priority, then the rest of the steps aren't gonna work. If you stuck around to this part of the video, you probably said to yourself, yeah, I value my health, my fitness to be a high priority. That's a good first step, because you've acknowledged that you do care about your body enough to want to take care of it. You now need to start having some respect for yourself to really invest good quality time into your health now. And sometimes there's gonna be trade-offs. Sometimes you need to sacrifice time from other things in order to invest into your fitness. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, do you really need to play one more round of League? You can end on a loss, man. Don't cave in, just don't. But don't get me wrong, I still make the time to do things that I enjoy. Yeah, but I don't play League anymore. That stuff is toxic. I still make time for things like playing games, going out with friends. I still try to find a balance, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I'm gonna give more priority to my own health than low priority things like playing games. So you've evaluated your priorities, but now is the time to find your why. What's the reason you wanna get in shape? Maybe you wanna lose weight, maybe you just want to gain muscle, or you just want to build more confidence in yourself. Having a clear why or a clear goal is going to give you direction, and it's going to help you formulate a plan in order to achieve your goal. And you don't need to make them complicated or anything. You don't need to do something like SMART goals. Just imagine yourself in about a year's time. What 2 things would you have liked to achieve at the end of that year? Whatever you thought about, those are your 2 whys. Those are your 2 goals. If you want, you can leave them in the comments. Let me know what they are. For me, it would be to achieve a straddle planche and handstand push-ups. I've been working on those for a long time, and yeah, I don't really have them yet. While goals are important for helping us with the next step, they're not going to be the driving force that gets us off the couch. So you shouldn't make them your primary focus. More on that later. Once you have your goals in mind, you now need to get organized. You need to create a plan of action for yourself that's gonna allow you to achieve those goals. We have our destinations. We just need to know what path we need to take in order to get there. Best way to formulate your path is to make small sub-goals out of your main goal. My main goal is to blow up. Then act like I don't know nobody. Make small achievable sub-goals out of your main goal. You're going to be able to create stepping stones that allow you to progress to your main goal. Say you wanted to lose 50 pounds at the end of the year. Well, a good sub-goal for that would be losing 1 pound per week. If I lose 1 pound per week, how many calories do I eat in a day in order to achieve that? Being able to simplify larger goals into smaller wins that you can achieve each week, it just feels so much better. And it really puts into perspective the progress you're actually making to your goal, because you are making progress every single day. Now, you might have the best plan, you might have the greatest goals. None of that's gonna matter if you don't enjoy the process. Remember when I talked about not focusing too hard on the goals for motivation? Well, there's a reason for that. Goals are ultimately intrinsically motivating, meaning it's an external reward as a result of effort. Instead, we need to find something that's intrinsically motivating, which means finding a process that is enjoyable to us, regardless of any external rewards. We do it for the sake of doing it. In fact, a 2017 study found that those driven by the outcomes of their New Year's resolution were less likely to be consistent. On the other hand, those who enjoyed the pursuit of their goals were more persistent and more likely to achieve their resolutions. So find an activity for yourself that is going to get you to your goals, but you actually enjoy doing it. Like maybe you like rollerblading, maybe it's running. Maybe you play a sport. Maybe you like rock climbing. Whatever it is, if you enjoy it, then it's the perfect routine for you. This is why I chose calisthenics, because I find that process of resistance training a lot more enjoyable than traditional weightlifting. If you really don't have anything you enjoy, then the easiest way to make the process more fun and enjoyable is go with friends. Sometimes just the social aspect of working out with a buddy, keeping each other accountable, motivating each other, I think that's enough to have an enjoyable process. So you have your goals, you've turned them into sub-goals, and to achieve those sub-goals, you found a process you enjoy. But now we need to start building the discipline. Now, discipline isn't created overnight. Just like any skill, it needs practice, it needs persistence. But ultimately, discipline comes from building healthy habits for yourself. Creating routines for yourself over long periods of time will eventually become automatic and second nature to you. Hey, post-production Kevin here. I just want to make it very clear on what I mean by routine here. So this is the part of the guide where you actually make the times within your week to do the thing you want to do from the last step. So when I say routine, I really just mean your exercise schedule or your workout schedule. Okay? Cool. And honestly, you don't need to be incredibly rigid with your routine. There was a study that took 2 groups of people and paid them monetary incentives to go to the gym. The people in the first group were asked to pick a 2-hour time frame where they would go to the gym and work out. And if they were to do that every day, they would get paid every day. The second group of people were asked to just go to the gym whenever they feel like it, have more of a flexible schedule, and whenever they went to the gym, they would get paid. It turns out that the people in the second group went to the gym more consistently than the people in the first group. I know what you're thinking. It's not fair because they got paid to go to the gym, which... wow, that'd be nice. What's interesting is the second group continued to go to the gym even when they took the monetary incentives away. Building habits doesn't need to be a word-for-word, letter-by-letter process. It's much better to integrate healthy habits into your life naturally and organically. Sometimes having a rigid schedule can undermine the ability to create routines for yourself. You'll feel a lot more freedom and control over yourself when you don't need to stick to something so rigid as picking a 2-hour window to work out. And that brings me to the next step. Don't be so hard on yourself. You don't need to be so strict that if you miss a workout or you eat over your calorie budget, it's not going to be the end of the world. Don't let the minor setbacks ruin your journey. I mean, this has happened to me many times before. I've been trying to learn planche for a while, since the beginning of my calisthenics journey, and I tried to stick to this super structured program where these days you progress to this progression and you hold it for this amount of seconds. And honestly, I wasn't progressing that fast. So I said to myself, planche isn't for me. I'll never learn the planche. I'll just give up and do something else. And honestly, if I hadn't stopped training the planche, I'd probably have it by now. Damn. At the end of the day, we're all human, and there's no such thing as the perfect routine. You just need to understand that where you are in your journey doesn't matter, and you're allowed to make mistakes. I've definitely made plenty of mistakes in my journey, and you don't need to be so hard on yourself, because if you're strict with yourself all the time, it's not going to be an enjoyable process. Trust me, I know. Maybe you're still unsure about if this plan's going to work for you, so I'll at least leave you with my one tip that will definitely help you achieve consistency, and it's that all you need to do is start. And then the rest of the work won't seem so bad. If you're gonna work out that day, but you really don't feel like it, you're really not motivated, just show up to the gym. Just drive over, walk over, bike, whatever, and step through the doors. By the time you step through those doors, you're gonna think to yourself, well, I'm already here, might as well get a workout in. But even if you don't, that's totally fine. It doesn't even have to be exactly that. If you don't feel like working out, you don't want to train, just go for a nice walk for like 10 minutes. Go outside, smell the fresh air, look at some flowers, pet a dog, I don't know, do something. If you do this and you do it as often as you can, it's going to start building momentum for you, and you're going to start developing those habits over time. You're going to feel that during one of those days, you feel like you have to do something. You feel like if you don't, then you hadn't had a proper day, and that's what we want. It's a part of our lifestyle. Now, one of my favorite quotes that I heard on a Chris Williamson podcast, which I think reflects this very well. Instead of spending time getting in the mood to work, just start working. Confront the work. People think they need perfect conditions to start, when in reality, starting is the perfect condition. Now, if you're still overwhelmed and have no idea what to do to get started, then frick. If you're still overwhelmed and you have no idea what to do to get started, then I have a beginner's calisthenics guide right here that you can check out. It's got a list of exercises that you can do no matter what strength level, and I also have a list of programs that you can follow for the beginning of your journey.